I just want you to imagine a situation where you are in the battlefield. You are fighting and you are the commander, the leader. All the soldiers are trusting that this is the person who is going to guide us to victory. And then you are there. The person who is next to you, maybe your assistant, is hit by a bullet, they die. So this is a setback that I'm giving in as an example that has happened. So now, how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to sit down and cry and abandon the mission? Or you're going to look at the bigger picture and say, yes, this has happened. But if we give up, we may all be destroyed here. So I think when you are faced with whatever challenges that you face in life, we must learn to accept that we are on earth, we are not in heaven. Problems will always come. How you deal with them is what is going to make a difference. And always use the concept of silver lining. When all that darkness is there, stop concentrating on the negative aspects of your life. More often than not, you'll discover that maybe that setback is 1% of the things that are happening in your life. But we always take that 1% of sadness to destroy the 99% of happiness. So I would say, when you are faced with a problem, accept that it's there. Come back when the time is right. Look at what went wrong. What did you learn from that challenge? Was it your problem? Was it the other person's problem? If it was your problem, what lessons can you learn from that? Where can you improve? If it was another person, communication is key, like she said. You can communicate with them without shouting at them. Tell them, this affected me in this way. I didn't like it because of that. But remember that you are not the manager of this world. They are not necessarily going to accept what you are saying. And even if they don't accept what you are saying, be the bigger person. Walk out of it still being yourself. Because if you decide to be emotional wreck,
right, I know some of you, it's your first time to pass through this channel. I just want to say you're welcome. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you ring the bell. And I want to say shout out to my regulars. Guys, please make sure to thumbs up the video and share with others in your groups, because wow. All right, when I saw this report, I thought, I need to really get my facts right. But it's true. So Miniyothabo used to be the director of the military intelligence, which allegations are she's been moved to the head office. I think you guys can remember very well that Themba Mliswa has been accusing her of posing information that she needs to resign. The husband is now moved into the political arena. So with that being said, there's no need for her to be in a position that she is. I mean, he said a lot of things. For me, I've always been saying, I think the voice of Themba Mliswa is literally like it's Mnangagwa. Because remember, Mnangagwa have mastered the art of using people to do all that they do, be it debt work, be it conveying messages, and then it's just acting like there is nothing that is going on. But I can never forget that Comrade Geza as well, may his soul rest in peace. I do remember that he came out and say that Themba was given money. Remember that story? Yes, that's when he started going wild, attacking Chiwenga left, right, and center. So, I mean, expected, in my opinion, that Mnangagwa was going to do something about me. Some are saying it's actually Tafumane who is a military commander. But it's important for me to read actually the reports that were sent out during the day by Zimbabwe. I don't normally trust Simba, but like I said, I had to confirm first before I cover this story. Then I will tell you what I think. But trust me, the Geza revolution is alive and kicking. This whole thing will not succeed. Nothing will work. Zimbabwe will be free. Criminals will be locked up. Anyway, many Baloi demoted in the army, sources allege. A decisive restructuring of Zimbabwe's military command structure is underway following a series of rapid personnel moves at the heart of the country's security establishment, signaling a significant recalibration of power within the state's defense architecture. Sources within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces confirm that a careful coordinated realignment has been executed under the authority of Commander-in-Chief and the Zimbabwe Defense Forces High Command. The move follows the elevation of General Asha Walter Tafumane to the rank of full army general late last year, a promotion that insiders say positioned him strategically within the upper command hierarchy ahead of the latest developments. Military insiders describe the current shake-up is a targeted effort to dismantle what security officials viewed as an emerging center of influence operating around the household of Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. Zimbabwe military intelligence sources report that Colonel Mini Baloy, spouse of the Vice President, has been removed from her operational position and reassigned to what insiders describe as a non-command administrative replacement within the general officers pool. The reassignment effectively strips the position of operational authority. Officials familiar with the decision say the measure was designed to end alleged interference in command structures and internal security deliberations related to state leadership, succession, and constitutional government. At the same time, the director of the military intelligence, Colonel Mandaza, has reportedly been relieved of his duties and reassigned for military training in the People's Republic of China. The redeployment is understood to fall under bilateral defense cooperation arrangements between Harare and Beijing. Sources say both actions were carried out quietly and without confrontation, in line with Zimbabwe Defense Forces standing procedure. The developments come days after outspoken political figure and former legislator Themba Mliso publicly warned of changes within security structures and alleged that Colonel Baloy had become a conduit for internal military briefings related to political maneuvers surrounding constitutional amendment. Mliso stated that certain military officers had been recently met to discuss matters concerning him and had reportedly delivered their findings directly to Colonel Baloy. In this statement issued on the 1st of March 2026, the military officials who convened recently concerning me and made a resolution to stop me reportedly went and delivered a report to Colonel Baloy. I've always held the army and our security forces in high esteem. This has informed my interactions with esteemed Zimbabwean generals such as Mujuru, Zinavashi, Zimondi, Tungamira Shiri, Chimoyo, Chimombe, Moyo, reflecting a profound respect for their leadership. It is inconceivable that I could be mentored by such figures if I did not recognize their significance. Nevertheless, we must resist any attempts by certain elements within the security apparatus to suppress individual freedoms, particularly when such actions arise solely from their positions of authority and political ambitions. Wow. Like I've always been saying, this boils down to what Themba Mliso said. Literally, Themba Mliso is just kind of Mnangagwa's voice. You know, he speaks on his behalf. That's my tag. Attacking Chiwenga and without Mnangagwa commenting on it or even rebuking him speaks volume. But this one I'm going to say, the revolution continues and the Geza's spirit is alive and kicking. We are still holding the checkmate. Let's not kill each other. Let's just play politics. Okay. There's no need of killing each other. Let's play politics. That's what you want. That's what you get. You understand what I'm saying? Let's not kill people. Let's just do politics. It's quite interesting that Themba Mliso is actually complaining that people are trying to silence me, but he's forgetting that Mnangagwa has been silencing every dissenting voice. That this very same regime deployed, I heard that 3,000 so-called CIOs in South Africa to hound innocent Zimbabweans, not to protect the leaders of Zimbabwe. that is being destroyed by Chinese people who are stealing, not all Chinese, but some of them who are coming, who are just in Zimbabwe looting our minerals. No, they don't protect that. Children who are being dragged, they pretend like they don't know drug kingpins. Money that is being looted in billions. This so-called CIO don't see that. They only see Rumbi, who is online, who just say the kind of thieving that's going on in the country is unacceptable. That's what they see, meaning they are not there to save the country, they're there to save criminals. So whenever you call them CIO, I'm like, no, these are just young criminals who have been recruited under the guise of Central Intelligence. Because I'm very close to the intelligence in South Africa, and some of them, these guys, are very classic. No, they're not as cheap as you see. They just, if I was hear this so-called CIO speak, when they start speaking, they don't stop. When they start texting, they don't stop. They are trained to be bullies, and they are extremely toxic. When I say toxic, I mean toxic. I mean, you've seen what they've been doing over the years. The abductions, torture, killings. That now brings me to the issue of Tafumane. Tafumane, who is actually the military command, that Tafumane guy. He's the same person who actually abducted and tortured Justina Mukoko.
Do you now know who the people that tortured you are?
I know people who were in the second detention center. There is, I think he's retired now, Asha Tafumane. Mm-hmm. I think he deals with war veterans. And then there was also, I think it's Simon, I can't remember his second name, but he was head of CID at the time. Mm-hmm. And he's the one who wanted to use a bamboo stick at the second interrogation center to beat me up. Mm. And the others then said, no, you can't do that. And then he stopped because he was very angry that the guys at the other detentions
were not beating enough.
Those were his words, that you are treating him with kid gloves.
Have you met any of these people after being released?
I met this Simon
guy?
This Simon guy at the airport.
And?
We came together from Cape Town, and I kept on looking at him, and I knew the face. Mm-hmm. So I was with Tabani Mpofu, who's now in the president's office.
Oh, right, yes.
And I asked him, who is that?
Yeah.
And he told me he's head of CID. And he immediately moved away from where we were and got to the other side of the room. My friends kept on saying, why didn't you greet him? But Beatrice said, I think you did the right thing to just look at him at a distance.
They are also human. They will forget. What goes through your mind when you think of the Simon guy and so forth? Have you forgiven them? What's your state of mind?
I think when I went through my last sessions of therapy with this amazing woman named Val, I started to realize my life needed to go on. Because somehow I felt that by holding on to the anger and the pain, the anger and the pain was not going to the people where it was supposed. It was eating me up. So I recognized I needed
to let go.
And having been raised as a Christian, I thought, well, I can't even talk about revenge. Because I think initially when I came out, I was thinking that they needed to be in front of a firing squad. That's how I felt. But with time, all those things have changed. And well, I have gone on with my life, but that dent will never be removed.
Forgiven, but not forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. their names will always be etched there. And I think the most painful part is also that there isn't this culture of people then acknowledging what they have done. It could make a difference. Because all these guys, they were protected by a certificate that was issued by then Minister of State Security.
Wow.
So they were not identified.
To think, Justina, that as we're sitting here having this conversation, and as the world is watching this conversation, the men and women who tortured you are walking the streets of Harare.
They are still out there, probably
doing the same thing
and torturing other people.
Can someone tell me if we are really a serious country? So a terrorist, in my opinion, wakes up and be the commander in the defense forces. Do you understand? A terrorist that terrorized a Zimbabwean is not being paid by the taxpayer, has been promoted for being a terrorist. So when I keep on asking a question, are these people, Mnangagwa and some of his bodies Zimbabweans? I mean exactly that. What level of cruelty and evil are we entertaining? Are they really Zimbabweans? That's the question we need to ask. Because for a long time we've been silenced, asking this very question, but they're extremely, extremely important. When we talk about Zimbabwe, let us be fair. Let us be honest. Let us be fair. A terrorist is not the commander in the military. It's one thing to say, no, he trained and he was really fighting the enemy. No, he fought an innocent mother, an innocent woman. There was a time she said, you wanted to hit her with a very strong object, and people would say, no, don't do that. Meaning he was up to something. He wanted her gone. Today, he's promoted. When I say Mnangagwa needs to go, I mean exactly that. And going he will. Because the way he has destroyed Zimbabwe, the way he has hated our people, he may have a title of a president, but his character do not qualify to be a president. I don't know what happened in 2017. Only God knows what happened. But sometimes we need to be honest if we want to see the country moving forward. But Chiwenga is not that dumb. You see, the thing about Chiwenga is he's quiet, he's not saying much. But the guy is a fighter. You cannot be poisoned in Zimbabwe most of the times and survive. Many people have been poisoned and they're gone. You know how much the guy got so sick, but he's still standing. And I genuinely believe there's a reason why God kept him. I believe that. You know, when God wants to use you, you will do anything in his power to defend you and protect you for his glory. We'll be surprised. But all I can say is that no, it's nothing. Relax and chill. Everything is under control. Zimbabwe will be free, and it will be led by men and women of integrity. Men and women who are full of love, who believe in building. Because today I was laughing that we have lost, so many companies have left Zim, which including supermarkets. But to my surprise, Auxilia Mnangagwa opened a supermarket, a Spar, recently. And I'm like, wow, seems like it's working for all y'all. Mnangagwa family, but doesn't work for many Zimbabweans. Zimbabweans are languishing in poverty. Every time they talk about we are giving, we are donating, we do not need donations. We need our money that is being stashed in foreign land to come back and build for its people. We are the taxpayer. We are the owner of those monies. Those minerals that people are looting belong to Zimbabweans. So this games, we are not interested. We are not dumb. We are smart. We can see everything that's going down there. That's why I'm saying I can't wait for a day that I see people pay back for the evil that they've sown. I want to close right here because I was having a chat with someone. I said, what Mnangagwa doesn't see, and this is just my take. I've always been monitoring South Africans. When you look at the old guard in South Africa, mainly the elders one that faced the ruthless regime, which was the apartheid regime. whenever they have conversations, they will never escape the fact that there's an issue of racism that they suffered under. I can only imagine, because for me, I have suffered under the regime of Mugabe and Mnangagwa, and I don't have mess towards them. And I think many Zimbabweans are feeling exactly the same. And I actually said to myself, if I was in the shoes of Mnangagwa, I would come clean to the people and say, I'm sorry for what we've done, the pain we've caused you, because he has kids. I can only imagine, guys, in the next few years, and I'm working the street and I'm meeting Mnangagwa's child. Mnangagwa is no longer in power. It's a different story. Will they be able to say something? And I want to say, no, please don't say nothing. We do not understand. That's one of the reasons why people were not gracious towards Chatunga. You saw the comments. It's the trauma that the Zimbabweans have been through. It's the trauma, the torture, the abuse that went for decades. Sometimes it takes humility. It takes respect to apologize and make peace. Because if I tell you that you are stepping on me, and you're stepping on me and I'm hurting, if I say to you, please, you're stepping on me, I'm expecting you to be mindful. But in Zimbabwe, it seems like we've been crying and crying and crying and crying and crying for decades. And these people are still stepping on us. You know, I'm feeling this pain, but I'm not actually staying in Zimbabwe. And for most of my time, I never stayed in Zimbabwe. But I'm feeling the pain is so deep. Only imagine mothers with kids who aren't going to school today. Mothers who are suffering with drugged kids. One teacher commented and said, you were shocked how many kids are drugged day to day in the country. You do not understand the trauma. So some of these things that you guys are collecting, you won't eat them. Because we won't let you, unfortunately. We will not let you. Especially when you don't apologize and say, no, we're sorry, we've hurt you. We'll not let you. All right, guys, you tell me what you think in the comment section, but I want you to know that everything is under control. They can do whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, the people prevail. Let's defend the Constitution. Together we can. I love you so much. God bless you, and God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.